Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Jake Reads Your Comments number...
Moist fursuit.
Oh,
I totally wasn't inspired by anyone to do that one. That was right off the top of my head. Top of the dome. Nobody helped me with that.
If your fursuit isn't moist at least 20% of the time, you're not getting your money's worth. That's a fact.
You had to have 20% moisture as well. And you have to wear like things that wick it away from your body.
Yeah,
So the suit's moist, you're not moist. Like Under Armour.
Under Armour, and all you gotta do is you cut the holes in the Under Armour. Anyway, so today Jake is here to, I guess I read the comments and he more responds using often coarse
I read them
language.
Prior to the point he reads them. So I was the OG and you're a poser.
Okay, here we go. This comes from our review of Ray Comfort's God vs. Evolution. Pizza Hut says, can you be a Christian and still believe in evolution?
That's a good question, Anime Cat. Yes, I totally think you can. The thing about it is I don't understand why Christians think they're mutually exclusive. Because, like, if you just say, yeah, God, he did the things and then everything exists. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I guess the creation of things is pretty impressive. But I think a more impressive God, a God with, knowledge, could make it in a thing that, like a system as elegant and useful as evolution would be. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the text is considered, no. The text is very clearly... creation happened, 6,000-year-old Earth, whatever. But a Christian can totally, balance that scale.
I think the reason is because a lot of American Christians are literalists to a much higher percentage than people in the rest of the world. A lot of Protestants here, and I think that's part of the reason.
Yeah, I think Catholics and just European Christians have had more time to culturally, find themselves out, because again we're a pretty young country, so our Christians are rather young, and so we haven't gone through the growing pains much of the European world has. So yeah, but I totally think I think they are compatible for people on a small scale. Like I don't think that you can preach it necessarily, but I think Christians can hold that scientific knowledge and still be a Christian at the end of the day. Like I don't think evolution is a good reason to be an atheist. I think it informs your opinion, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the one thing. It's not for me.
I think you can be a Christian and believe in evolution, as many do, as long as you are willing to admit that the Bible is not 100% accurate and it's written by people. And even if you think it's inspired, don't get me wrong, I think you're wrong, but you could still argue, well, it's a story. I think that's total bullshit and not the intent of the author. But you can do it.
The thing is, though, I would trade scientifically illiterate atheists for scientifically literate Christians. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, as long as the people are informed and know that, real knowledge is a thing, I don't care what you believe after that, as long as it doesn't, make you a bad person. So, any sort of scientific literacy, in my opinion, seems like a step in the right direction. So, yeah, and if you're a Christian that doesn't think that you can believe in evolution, if you just happen to be watching this, I definitely think you can. I think you just don't know enough about evolution to make an informed opinion. It doesn't mean we are monkeys. It just doesn't mean that. So you should ask people instead of just getting mad if you're one of those people that gets mad about evolution, because you're just misinformed.
Next, this was on my last Ask Hugo, in which we talked about otherkin. Justin Saddleberg says, I went to school with one of those otherkin bitches. This little bitch, wow, 2 bitches right back to back. This guy must have really been a bitch. This bitch thought he was a dragon and tried setting people on fire. He is 26 now. He most certainly isn't going through a phase. He should be in a mental institution or a good beating from everyone around him. Fuck otherkin. Wow, this guy got very unnecessarily violent towards this possibly mentally ill person.
Yeah, Justin Saddleberg here definitely isn't insecure about the person he is, isn't a douchebag, and is definitely someone that I would like to spend time with and get to know, because you seem completely reasonable and in no way an utter cunt. Definitely not. Fuck you, Justin Saddleberg. You're great, and I hope you live a long time.
We even made fun of the otherkin, but I don't know. I don't get unnecessarily
That guy's a
unnecessary
fucking
threats of
douchebag.
violence.
Like, there's no reason to be like that person.
No
reason whatsoever. Oh, someone believes something that's ridiculous. He doesn't need to be kicked in the face. Like, he's still a person. He tried to set other people on fire. I knew a kid that tried to bomb the school with actual fire bombs. Don't want to beat him up.
Where did he get fire bombs?
He made them. They weren't very good.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they're not high-quality fire bombs.
Well, do better. Do better when you're trying to be a terrorist.
Maybe next time he should try and be a terrorist, Ken, and he'd do a finer job.
Yeah. Anyway, Justin Saddleberg, unsubscribe. Thank you.
This is from our review of Donut Man. I'm not sure which one. We've done it twice. License Plate Jacket Radio says, Dear Jugo, if you were
Again, finally, fuck you. License Plate Jacket Radio, never again. This is the last time. I didn't know.
If you were a pastry, what would you be? Also, if you were cream-filled, what would the filling be? Hopefully not semen from the Donut Man. I bet the Jack Chick just has a box of the Donut Man's specials.
No, we don't need the rest of that.
Okay.
All I need to just forget the last part of that. The only part that matters is if you were a pastry, what would you be and what would you be filled with? If I was a pastry, I would be a croissant because they're the best pastry. And yes, they are pastry because I don't like sweets necessarily. But croissants are kind of savory and buttery. I like that. And it would be filled with another croissant. Double croissant. You gotta say it like that. Like
Okay.
you're French and you have a stuffy nose.
Okay.
What would
I
you
would be a bear claw, and I would be
Clearly.
filled with my accomplishments because I don't like fillings and donuts, and that's the easiest way to say nothing.
Fillings and donuts are pretty bad. I've had during was it Fat Tuesday,
Yeah.
the thing before you go on Lent or whatever, they have
Yeah.
punchkis.
Yeah.
It looks like patchki, and it's, well, I don't know, some sort of European. Is it Danish?
I don't know. Are punchkis like a nationwide thing, or
Polish.
is that like
It's Polish. No, there's a large Polish population in Michigan, especially. I know they're around, but they're not necessarily nationwide. I know they're
Because
not out
I
here.
guess I always assumed that was regional because of the polls.
It is regional. Yeah, the Poles. Those are donuts. They're crazy, crazy bad for you donuts, covered in like sugar, often cinnamon sugar,
Yeah.
but sometimes powdered. And then, but they're pretty good, and they're always filled. And I've had one good one in my whole life because I don't really like sweets, but it was raspberry filled, and that was pretty delightful. But it was real raspberries. It was like a raspberry compote, almost like a I don't know, syrup thing. It wasn't one of those like injected shitty corn syrup filled flavorings that you get out of a can.
Yeah, I hate that. If I wanted jelly, I'd eat jelly. Why are you trying to ruin my donut?
Right, I know. Like, I don't even like donuts that much, but if I'm going for a donut, like Krispy Kreme, that sounds disgusting. A Cleam? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Is it like a
Cleam
fleeb?
sounds like it's a thing. A what?
A fleeb?
A fleeb? Oh, so this is like a Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Whatever a Cleam is, I don't want that. But a Krispy Kreme donut, regular, with glaze, hot, that's the only donut I like. That's the only donut I like.
I like Krispy Kremes. They're all right. They're probably my favorite donut. Tim Hortons gets blown the fuck out of the water by Krispy Kreme because Tim Hortons
sucks.
Tim Hortons like unfreezes their donuts now. They come
awful.
pre-made.
Terrible.
Krispy Kreme,
Terrible.
you would never do that to me. You won't break my heart like that.
Anyways, license plate jacket radio, you're dead to me.
Next, from our review of that weird robot Colby children's show, Saddy Bubs says, I was curious what your guys' stance is on Dragon Dildos. As somebody who is on the fence about them, it'd be nice to hear an expert opinion on the matter.
You know, I'm glad you asked. Not a lot of people know that Hugo and I are indeed dildo aficionados, especially if they're mythical beast themed. So, as far as your normal dragon dildo is concerned, you're gonna be spending a pretty penny, okay? It's not necessarily for the people with a light constitution. You kind of need to have a little bit of... You don't half-ass a dragon dildo, let's just say that. You full-ass it. Although it's not a butt plug, it is a dildo, don't stick it in your ass. But I would, and this is just me, I would definitely get dragon dildo related lube, which is not hard to find. I'm sure there's websites out there. Just check Otherkin boards.
I'm more of
And
a
you'll find
giant
those.
horse dildo person. Or they made dildos based on the Avatar movie that are like blue cat dicks, basically. I'd go for that. Thanks, James Cameron. That's the greatest thing Avatar did for the world, was make people make those dildos.
I've seen furry dildos before where they're themed behind the animal that they're wearing.
Yeah.
Those creep me out, man.
Eh.
Like, some of those are pretty huge, too.
Yeah, I've seen, because I spend, too much of my time on the internet, I've seen every kind of thing put in every kind of hole possible. I've seen a man raped to death by a horse, which, not the worst thing I've seen, but it is related to what we're talking about. I've also seen someone take the biggest I showed this to you. I showed you the person
that
who
was
took...
bad.
And you could see it in, like, their abdomen. It was up so high, and it was pressing their organs and stuff. That's a project you have to work up to. That's to the point where when someone asks, what's your hobby? It's, for the past 5 years, I've been getting bigger and bigger dildos into my ass. That's your hobby at that point.
There's no, especially dragon ones. Like, dragons are pretty huge. If that's a to scale dragon dick, you're totally getting way too stretched out. You should start with other things like Pegasus is reasonable, manticores, man, bear, pig. Those are the 3 you start with, in reverse order, though.
This is from our Chick Tract reading of Little Susie. Yeah. This is a very, very themed episode. It's a good thing we called it what we called it, I guess. Anyway, yiffing furry, I'm into dog dick, sure.
I feel like that didn't need to be said by yiffing furry.
You don't know, they could be into more cat stuff or whatever, I don't know. But I respect that you're open about it. I mean, I, for one, like, even take away the fact that I'm against bestiality, just if I was, like, totally for it. A dog dick looks wet and gross.
It does. Is it wet? I've never touched a dog dick.
I haven't either, but it's in like a sheath.
Is it wet?
It's in a
sheath.
sheath.
It looks shiny.
It probably, like, in the sheath, it probably has,
but dogs don't sweat like us.
There's probably some sort of oils that prepare it for insertion.
Oh!
You know.
I don't want dog dick oils all up on me.
I'm just telling you.
Wait,
that's
are
what
you
it
into
is.
receiving or giving dog dick? Like, are you more into, like, the voyeurism of dog dick? Like, I'm gonna watch this dog dick another dog. Or are you like, yeah, I'd let that dog get up in that?
I'm gonna tell you right now, if like I have to service a dog or it has to service me with its dick, I'm taking that dog dick. Because at least then the only part of my body that the dick is touching is the inside of my butthole, and I don't like the inside of my butthole anyway. It's already gross. It's full of poop. Another one from our review of that Robot Kids show, Aaron Runyon. Please love me.
No, your name's Aaron Runyon. You sound awful. That sounds terrible. And you don't even have a profile picture. No.
There's a story behind this comment, and I'd like to think that Aaron sat at a keyboard crying all night, watching playlist after playlist of our videos until he couldn't take it anymore. And he genuinely, with no other human connections, wrote this in the hopes that someone would validate him as a human being. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron.
This is directed at people?
Anyone. I don't know. Maybe us. I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron. No one will love you.
There's no way that worked out.
Maybe if you get like a dog dick and you talk to the last guy, then you can work something out.
You could bring a dragon dildo into the mix and see what happens. Spark true love. You don't know. You don't know what other people are into. I don't know what Aaron Runyon's into. Obviously, not interpersonal relationships. But,
Okay, well, this is from our episode of the Quran Reloaded. If you didn't know, we started our new series where we're reading the Quran from an atheist perspective. B52 says...
It actually says, anyone here speak Arab? No. No one does. Speak in a different language. I don't know what this means. It does. I translated it. It says that, but like, don't make me go through the time. Come on. You got the B and the 52 correct. I assume you're a B-52's fan.
Who isn't?
Funky Town.
I'd like to think that there's a large Arab population that just loves the B-52s. Just walking out to Love Shack, occasionally
You know
Rock
what?
Lobster.
I always imagined that was the North Koreans.
Yeah, I could see that.
I want you to take me to Funky Town.
Was that them?
Yeah.
I'm like
B-52s.
90% sure that was not the B-52s. That
What
doesn't
do
even sound like a
B-52s
B-52
Love
song.
Shack?
Love Shack is them, and Rock Lobster is them, and they were in the first
Rock Lobster.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Love Shack is Funky Town, not the B-52s. Now I have to know.
They were in the
Who wrote Funky
Flintstones
Town?
movie. They did the Bedrock Rock.
Lips Inc.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Lips Inc. We get it, but that's awful. I'm glad that you didn't have anything else. Ugh. Lip sync.
Anyways,
That's terrible. Anyway, yeah, we don't speak Arabic, so I mean, that's not going to work out. This guy probably can't even understand what I'm saying anyways.
all right, and then our final comment again comes to us from the Quran Reloaded #1. BD Pride, you two atheists have very low IQ. Quit trying to pull off Jon Stewart type of show. You suck. Your post is nothing but a parody with nonsense pictures depicting how you want others to see God as you two do.
I didn't know Jon Stewart did a glorified slideshow.
No, I didn't either. That's good.
I
That's
thought he retired.
The fact that they even compared it to that as opposed to like a presentation he saw at school actually bodes well for us.
Yeah, I
Also,
think we're doing fine.
I'm confused when he says nonsense pictures because I edited that episode. 90% of the pictures were just of Muslims praying or of the Quran itself. So I agree, those
Oh.
pictures are nonsense, but that's a little
Wow.
weird coming from someone who
Hugo
sounds like a Muslim.
snap!
Yeah.
Hugo got a little sass on that one. He took that one personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's to see God as you two do. What was he talking about? The fact that it says in the Quran that he's like, yeah, I made non-believers on purpose?
I don't know. All we did was read it and talk about it, man. Also, he says we have a low IQ. Maybe. I'm probably
I don't know.
average.
I haven't taken an IQ test, but I feel pretty smart in my echo chamber of one.
Yeah, that describes you. Anyway.
So if you want to see more angry Muslim comments, definitely subscribe to the Quran Reloaded, where we will be doing a reaction vid, which is our very first reaction video that we've ever done on any channel ever, because we don't normally like to do that. However, Muslim apologists are a fucking goldmine. So we will be doing the most notorious and infamous Islamic apologetics video that I can remember in recent history. And let's just say it has to do with dadcum.
So other than that, you can always check us out on Twitter at Bible Reloaded.
You can follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded, and you could also subscribe. And then if you do that, you'll get a notification. And it'll be like, hey, Jake and Hugo did a thing. And you'll be like, again?
That's how I feel most of the time. You can also donate to our Patreon campaign. We do a once-a-month patron-only hangout. Also, Patreon is how we got the Quran Reloaded started, so if you want more cool stuff in the future, you could always help us out.
Harold Penisman Show.
So until next time, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this has been Jake Reads Your Comments number Wet Fursuit.
What do you think? I've never been inside a fursuit, but do you think it has different properties to that of a mascot suit?
I think it's probably a little more velour, and it probably is thicker to help hide the shame.
Oh. And there's probably holes in the crotch.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Obviously.
And the butt.
And the butthole.
And the mouth. All the
Mouthhole,
entry
definitely.
points. All the standard points of entry. And at least 2 that are not typically standard.